Good evening. The time is 2000 hours. Welcome to the weekly GMRS Neighborhood Readiness Net sponsored by Black Sky Community Radio Association. This is WRWQ569. My name is Derek and I'm operating from the usual north end of Waynesboro. I will be your net control station for this evening's net. The Neighborhood Readiness Net is held every Monday at 2000 hours on frequency 462.650, which is GMRS channel 19 with DCS tone of 411. As always, this is a relaxed but directed net, so all traffic should be passed through net control unless otherwise stated. The purpose of this net is to share general announcements related to the organization and our local communities, to monitor repeater coverage and community participation, and to provide an opportunity for practice to use your radio to ensure its operational soundness and to get used to coordinating in a coordinated manner. The net will always pause for any emergency or priority traffic. This is an open net. Check-ins from all licensed GMRS users are welcome regardless of location. Check-ins will be called by community, so please hold until your community is called to check in. Whenever you do check in, please give your call sign followed by your first name. If you only wish to check in and don't have any comments for the traffic portion, please say in and out or no traffic. At this time, we'll open up check-ins from our communities, starting with Waynesboro. Stations on the air from Waynesboro, please call now. Second call for Waynesboro station. All right, I had one station in there, just barely breaking squawk here. Go ahead and try it again, see if I can pull you out. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to pull you out there. Got the first part of your call sign, but that's all I was able to get. Just hold tight there, and I'll come back to you. Rouserville and Wayne Heights stations, please call now. Second call, Rouserville, Wayne Heights. The Zogner area stations, please call now. Second call for Zollinger. Quincy Township and Montato stations, please call now. Second call, Quincy Township, Montato stations, please call now. Nothing heard. Moving on to Greencastle stations, please call now.
WRDZ 416, this is Mike in Greencastle.
Good evening, Mike, 416 in Greencastle. Got you checked in there. Thank you as always. Any other stations, Greencastle, please call now. Leitersburg, Smithburg, Maryland stations, wishing to check in, please call now. Second call, Leitersburg and Smithburg. And lastly, any other communities not called or any late check-ins, please call now.
Net control, this is 875, Eric in Waynesboro, late check-in.
All right, good evening, Eric, 875 in Waynesboro, I got you. Anyone else wishing to check in?
Juliet, 956, Richard.
All right, I think I had two stations there doubling on each other, but I got 875 Richard and Penmar. Good evening, Richard. Got you coming in again here on the net, same as last week. So glad to hear you. If there's another station in there, go ahead and call again.
SPX 753 Bob and Newberg, and if my signal's good enough, I'll have a call.
Yeah, 753 Bob and Newberg, got you checked in there. Eric, was that you trying to check in during the call for Waynesboro stations? There was someone trying to call and I couldn't quite pull him out.
The WSIY 875. Derek, I don't believe it was me. I did try to check in. I think we doubled initially. I did not key the second time, and I heard somebody breaking up and was barely breaking the carrier squelch into the repeater, but so there was somebody else out there.
Okay, copy. That other station I was trying to check in from Waynesboro, if you want to try checking in again, go ahead and try it. I didn't copy anything. Hearing no more check-ins, we'll move on to the traffic portion of the net. As always, I'll try to call check-ins in the order received. Just share any relevant information, comments you have for the group here this evening. So I'll go first here on behalf of Black Sky Community Radio Association. Just the two things still on the table, actually one thing still on the table as far as the repeater site. I have not heard anything back after the Board of Directors meeting from Washington Township. The Assistant Zoning Officer, Keller Moore, he's been my contact person. He said that they'll reach out after the meeting and once they have a decision made. So I don't want to push it, so I'm just going to wait a little bit longer here and give them time to reach out and let me know what their decision was during their meeting. And then last week's net, I announced that the new duplexer is in operation, the Sinclair duplexer. There was a little bit of concern with some of the values during the tuning, but I had conversation with the radio tech from Hankey's Radio again in Frederick, Maryland, and I think everything is okay with it after he explained it. I did put my meter on it, and I was getting about 33, 34 watts after the duplexer with the repeater putting out 40. So that's pretty decent. So for now, I think it's going to be working okay. So I don't have anything else on behalf of the organization. But like I announced last week, whenever I do hear something from Washington Township, I will be sure to make the announcement and let everybody know. I don't think, Mike, you weren't in and out, were you? If so, my apologies, but do you have any comments for this evening's net?
I wasn't necessarily in and out, but I don't have any specific comments. Thank you for keeping up the...
Unfortunately, a little bit broken there, but I think the gist of what you were saying was you didn't have any specific comments for the net, and just giving your gratitude for the net keeping on there. Anything else that was missed while you were breaking up here?
No, that covered it, Derek. It's interesting that I'm breaking up. We'll have to look into that. WRDZ 416.
All right, that time you came through with not breaking up, so yeah, how'd you get that time? All right, Eric in Waynesboro, your comments for the net.
Y875. Good evening, Derek, and everyone on the net. Been away for a few weeks taking care of some things down south, and good to be back and able to check in, and one thing I want to give you a compliment on, I'm not familiar with any other net monitoring in New Hampshire, or even on the ham radio side, where they actually record and then rebroadcast them either on Facebook or YouTube. And I just want to say thank you for doing that. That's always really cool to hear those nets, even if I'm away from home. Just thanks for what's happening. So thanks again for that, Derek, and thanks for running the net. This is WSIY 875 back to next week.
All right, yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, ever since the very first net, we've been recording them, so I just thought it'd be a good idea for those who maybe can't join in on the net and they'd still like to listen in on any announcements or whatnot, and also gives people a chance to hear themselves coming back and how their station is getting into the repeater and whatnot, especially if they're operating portable, mobile, or if they're on not their usual location. So just thought it would always be helpful, so I'm glad that you do find it helpful. And we had Bob and Richard, and both of them were in and out. And did I miss anybody else? All right, we'll do one more call for any late check-in, so if anyone is just now joining and you want to check in, please call now. With no other stations heard, I'll begin to close out the weekly Neighborhood Readiness Net. Information about Black Sky Community Radio can always be found online at our website at BSCRA-PA.org and also via Facebook. Just want to give the usual thanks to everyone who checked in this evening and who continues to show up to make the net possible. Without stations checking in, there wouldn't be any point. So thank you all for showing up and bearing with the organization here while we have a repeater site that's not optimal, but still gets the job done. So everyone just hang in there, and with time, I'm 99% confident that we will absolutely get to a much better site and get some better, stronger signal out there to everybody, so we can all hear each other a little better. So just hang in there, and it will come. So with that said, I'll just say good evening to everybody, and thanks again. This is WRWQ569. My name is Derek, and I'm transmitting from the north end of Waynesboro. So good evening all, and repeater is now turned back over to its normal operation, and I'll be clear monitoring.